cloud. Okay. Wow. Okay, good to see everyone again. Hello, my name is Ayalita Lita. Those who don't know me, I'm a feng shui practitioner here in the Bay Area, but also have unlimited opportunities to consult also nationwide and worldwide. So classically trained, classical feng shui, Ziwei Doshu astrology, medical qigong, and other energetics. Another metaphysical energies added to it, to my practice. As always, this is our monthly Feng Shui Connect. Welcome everyone who is listening and who is attending. I'm going to be sharing, as always, lucky days for upcoming month, September, October, maybe, and then also the days to kind of to be mindful and to avoid. I also will introduce you to what is the really nature about this particular season and what's important, what is important to observe in nature, what is observed in our inner self and also in our environment. So, and then I will introduce you to also to one of my dear clients, Margaret. She is in Oregon, and we just, it's been since May, right? Well, it's been, been working a longer time, but I will talk more about the project and some of the pivots that how feng shui and mindful feng shui and design implementation really can assist when you are remodeling or when you are expanding, or you are rebuilding, or you even considering bringing change to your space. And that would be great for Margaret maybe to share, you know, vision from the contractors, or maybe what you sometimes see as a client, as the, you know, what your opportunities, and then how things pivot and change when we consult. And then maybe there's some questions and answers after that. And let's begin. So I'm going to share my screen for not too many slides, I promise. Because I did not have a time for slides this time. Where is the full view slideshow? All right, so this is my contact information as always. Register for your free Zoom calls. And so today's subject, lucky dates for September, current chino, this is what I do. And we'll talk about the feng shui project and answer some questions and announcements. Okay, where are we? We are in a year of a tiger, just to kind of to be mindful, which is those who survived end of July, August, including myself. That was the months of monkey. You know, we as a monkeys dare of doing it, riding the monkey, right? Riding the tiger. Even though there's a diametrics, but it took quite a gut, so quite a determination to stay focused or to stay like grounded. That was very, very important, that we don't get basically distracted by any means. I know that it was also very challenging months for so many if you were depleted, especially if you were depleted closer to August. Ideally, that's what Europeans do. It was to take time off. Were really to take it easy midsummer, like July and August, taking time for yourself, for traveling. That was all, you know, soothing, like rejuvenating. It was very important. Not like making major decisions and pushing forward. That was not acceptable. That would not be in alignment with heavenly chi. Usually months of August was also deeply connected to the ancestral energy. So, and this is not only this particular year, but you can kind of keep that in mind that month of August, we called also a month for the weddings, right? But it's also was the month of the cultivating and remembering and cultivating your quality of energy with ancestral chi. As you know, I was in Latvia for months of July and August partially, and it was a profound experience. Again, going back to the ancestral gravesite, taking your dues and doing kind of honoring, not always kind of practically physically, but also emotionally and spiritually reconnecting, or going to the birthplaces of your grandparents or parents. For me, it was a just very, very special experience when I went to my I went to the place where I spent first at least 10 to 14 summers with my grandma in a countryside. The house was what was built was no longer there. There was just a field and a foresty, and I was just going through this deep grass and then I hear a voice, and it was so surprising. There was a gentleman, just like it was a hot summer day. It was gentleman just waving both hands, "Don't go there." I was like, oh, okay. Apparently it was really like water was flooded in the underneath that I didn't even realize. So I went around, I said hello, and they never met my grandma, because my grandma, they just moved in like 6 years ago to this area. And it was, I said, wow, how interesting. I remember this well in their property. And we started talking, and I was talking and going through like a memory lane, walking through the path when I used to be a little girl and building the tree house, and remembering how I used to bring my grandma's kitchen items and using as my tools, and pretending that I'm cooking, and I'm pretending I'm serving, and pretending. And I realized that I also have been building shelters. So there was something about feng shui for me to be always having like in the grove of these pine trees. I had my own outdoor kitchen with the red bricks and metal rings, and it was crazy to remember that. But at the very end, he was just observing me and listening to my stories. And I was like, oh my gosh, I could not believe this cypress now is like, 30 meters tall. When I was there, it was just planted. And on the way back, he says, don't leave. I have something for you. And I said, what is it? And he brings me a bucket of honey. It was so sweet, because it really made me, like, it teared my eyes, but from happiness that there was, first of all, I did not expect it to talk to anybody or meet anybody in that, during that like short visit of the land. But then I thought, it's like, that was generosity of my grandma. It's probably that brought me to it, and it just kind of rewarded me for just being. And then just before I went to my cousin's house, I had never seen, and Margaret, speaking of deer, the deer jumped up the tall grass that honest to God, I never experienced deer on that field, like in such a place. I was like, if I would have everything on the pictures, I probably would be like I cannot believe. So the spirits were talking, the energetically speaking, I was kind of connecting in that these comebacks, so going back to your heritage, or to going back to your language, going back to your memories, or places, and cultivating, and especially cultivating the good ones. That's something that you experience. Well, it's a treasure, not only for your physical body, but for your energy body, for your spirit body. Remember that. and use the month of this summer, like, especially August, that you can reconnect. Sometimes the reconnection could be through simple album. So you can pull the old photos and you can just kind of, reveal that for yourself. It's a beautiful practice for that matter. Going back to sharing. So speaking of today, right? So today is the September 7th. It's really a auspicious day, good day. I hope you took advantage of the September 1st. And there's a few more days are coming up. But I would like to kind of point out that we are in a new chi node. And the chi node is a why do. I'm going to read about what exactly, how metaphysically, what's happening in the heavens, what's happening when we are, because we are, as a human beings, we are experiencing something that is between the earth and heaven, between the sky and the, like we'll say, the season of the change and the weather. And we are here in Los Gatos and it's 105 during the day. It's crazy heat wave. But then we also think what's happening in the surroundings, what's happening to the earth. So what my teacher was saying, why do chi node shows the shifting relationship between collapsing yang and ascending yin. Collapsing yang and ascending yin. When yin descends, it is actually taking care yin style. So when yin descends, so even right now we can experience that this heat wave or this enormous amount of heat is the final breath point of the. I have a few people joining us. Welcome, Michelle, if you can mute. So when we have actually, let me start again. The Waidu Chi node shows the shifting relationship between collapsing yang and ascending yin. When yin descends, it is actually taking charge in the yin style. In the morning, Waidu is the harbinger of change. The clouds are high in the sky. I mean, I was hiking this past weekend. I was getting up very early and seeing the thick fog just hovering over the mountains was just beautiful. The clouds are high in the sky. The growing west wind is cool. So I know we're experiencing hot winds, but we should be embracing west winds. The dew is fresh yin qi. So this is what we're experiencing, that yin quality of energy in the morning. It's very, very subtly kind of approaching us and kind of letting the sense. And then the day again goes back to the yang, but it's not the same. We start seeing the coloring, the change. We start seeing the temperature change. The growing yin almost goes unnoticed. As the last of the summer qi subsides, a cool west wind qi appears and the season of autumn begins and develops. Geese migrate south and fall harvest continues in earnest. Waidu is a time of occasional cold early mornings, so take advantage of early mornings. That marks the approach and development of the annual yin qi. So the way we approach, the way we're really looking at this energetical patterns, this is almost like a pivot. The same way do you remember, or do you notice how when after the long waiting of the winter, the first feeling of the spring, like, the sense of the spring in the air, it's just like that the first spring chi nodes would appear and you would see the freshness and like you would see like very, very, luscious, like a very bright, greenery around it that awakens. So when we observe it at this moment, this softness of the coloring, turning the coloring, and the softness and warmth is the yin qi. It's the expression of the Mother Earth. It's like almost like I feel like, especially August, was like the grandma is putting the big shawl around your shoulders and just like hugging you, or like, just holding you, feeling that warmth. So be gentle with yourselves during this time. Okay. So doing this keynote, this environment chi is best at 5 p.m. Okay, so anything between 5 to 7 p.m., the late afternoons is really, really good if you would like to cultivate. If you have something like as a spiritual practice, that's also a good time to kind of not to eat. Let's say I have my Buddhist class and my Taoist classes starting at 6. So at least an hour before the class, I don't eat. Like for this presentation, I have not eaten all day today. So it just gives me, I don't know where the energy, but the spiritual realm and energetical realm, it just rises and allows you to gives that a different impulse, because you don't really need to even work physically, but you're just energetically expanding. So take advantage of the 5 p.m. If you're doing the Qigong practice, that should be done indoors, and don't eat at all after 7 p.m. So maybe try for the couple of weeks while we are transitioning from the summer to autumn. Try this practice and observe what's seasonal. What does it do to you that you don't eat too late quite yet? So any questions? So there's some of the recipes if you like, but my teacher would says the black soybeans, butternut, and chestnuts. Those would be something that you would like to include during this keynote into your menu, just to try it out, just because I think because of the coloring, because it's a roundness, because it's mature, it's in its shell, it's a little nutty. These all the flavors and tastes are going to be really enhancing the current time frame. And then on September 23rd, we're gonna experience a 16th keynote, which will be the autumn equinox. So like we have a spring equinox, so the autumn equinox will be by the end of this month. And then we're gonna be completely embracing equality between yin and yang, okay? And we could talk more about. So this is truly still, we are transitioning from the time of the earth element into the metal element. I shared with a few of you just before we started this meeting. And as you know, what I've been doing, I've been doing the major declutter and purging. So I'm designating this before the autumn equinox. I really want to have almost like cutting the potential stagnation, cutting out everything that doesn't serve me, because everything I'm going to go back to, it's going to take my lifetime. I have been so today I've been really rigid, and I've been also kind of coached and trained by my team, that when I became this purging and organizing victim as a client to them, I just realized how much attachment we do create to the things, to the events, to the something that doesn't serve. And I highly, highly recommend that you take this as a good advice. Even if, no matter how hard it is, be real, like they were saying, be realistic. When was the last time you used it? When is the next time you're going to be using it? And if you haven't used it so far, you probably don't need it. And as I said, the store in Los Gatos, the Happy Dragon, is a very happy source of abundance of things that have been lingering around. And that's always been kind of, acquiring my attention. And I realized that what is more important in my lifetime right now? It's time. That's something I cannot really go and shop for. I can only be mindful about it, and I can save the time. So I encourage you as well, be mindful. Whatever you can discard, be rigid. And if you need help, like I think when we are doing it on our own, we have too much emotion connected to the items. And I having the team and working with the team when they brutally just like having a one look at me and I already say, okay, done. Decision becomes, momentarily. It doesn't go back in the closet, doesn't go back in the shelves. It's like a cutting the cord. One association, think about that during the season of the autumn, that's where we are right now. Feel you are like a pumpkin. You have been attached to the root and to the connection of the stem for the whole season. And this is to really mature and to be independent and to be kind of fulfilled. What's happening? When we go to pumpkin patch, right, on the fields, the pumpkins, none of them are still attached to the root. Because if they are, they rot. They get spoiled. So almost like use this time, maybe not everything like I do in a whole house at the same time, but maybe put some schedule or put some things that you focus on only on clothes, or focus only on all your books in the household, all your kind of, kitchen items, maybe do week by week, but you have at least 2 to 3 weeks right now to rigidly kind of put your hands on it and prepare for the beautiful months of dog. Okay, because month of dog that's going to be coming. So right now with the rooster, we are in the month of the rooster, where anything that we do with the, really cutting or announcing or, organizing and like saying yes or no with a strong yes or no, cannot be better time. You are timely with your actions. Okay, that's why also there was no point for me to do the to Feng Shui Connect in August, because it was such a difficult, hard, energetically and metaphysically month that, like, opening up and announcing things during the month of the rooster, it's appropriate. Okay. Then I would like to also invite thinking about the month of October, because after the month of the rooster, we entering the G node, next G node, but that's going to be the ruling by the dog. Month of the dog is in Trinity with Tiger year. So building up the relationships, friendships, checking back with your loved ones, with your community, with your really close friends. That is the most important thing. That's not as much about your new friendships, but the month of the next, end of September, October, it is really about cultivating and reassigning or re-announcing your new relationship, like your old relationships are like refreshing. Okay, take advantage, because as you know, reassuring the loyalty, which is the dog's kind of main characteristic, is the loyalty. Take advantage of that. All right. I don't know if I have my next slide. All right, yay, lucky days. I know you took advantage of September 1st. So if you have a list, but this will be also attached to your next newsletter as available slide, lucky days for the month of September. The ones that I highlighted, like in the 9th and 21st, these are just incredibly lucky. Like, if you want to really kind of deposit the money, if you want to deposit on the 8th, I would say wait the day and deposit on the 9th. Okay, so the 9th and 21st truly are super juicy days, the same way that the September 1st was. In September, if you may and you can, plan nothing, or kind of take it easy, or do something that is like relates to more yin activities. It's for September 11 and 23rd. Okay, September 11 and 23rd. Mark your calendars. Take it easy. Don't over exhaust yourself. Yeah, just maybe connect to the nature if you like. Don't do decluttering project on the 11th to 23rd. Avoid. That's the day of all categories, for the blessings, for contract signing, for for moving, for ground opening, I mean, it's all void, void, void. So that's a really kind of, say chill. Take it easy. And these are the days also. I will be probably see you again in October, probably 7th. I kind of like it. I can feel like a 7-7. It's kind of resonates with me and with many people like at this hour. And I'll try the 7th as being a continuous 7 at 7 hour feng shui connect the timing. And these are the October void days, but I'm gonna see you before that. Next, what's next? Well, next is my exciting project that I worked with. I'm gonna stop sharing this part. And I would like you, before I share anything, I would like to invite Margaret, my client, all-time client. We kind of have a mini dialogue, and I will briefly tell and share. So for the next 15 minutes, I just really want to talk about this project, only because it's definitely quite an extraordinary situation, and I would like to have kind of Margaret's maybe insight or reflection from what was the expectations before we started, okay? And then I will share a few slides from what we did, how it was before and after, and maybe we can also discuss, what was a different and pivotal, in your experience, Margaret, after really receiving the knowledge about, the land, the property that you already lived for so many years, right? And I think I think it's very good for people to know and to hear. So would you like to, let me just put it on view as a gallery view, as a speaker view. Okay. So project started in a while back ago, right? When you moved. Maybe briefly just tell what you like to share, and I will pitch in accordingly.
Okay, well, in a nutshell, I left California in 2016, and Aelita helped me sell my house very quickly for the full asking price after she did her magic. And I landed in Bend, Oregon the following year and bought a house that seemed like the right property and wasn't quite exactly the right fit. And we tried to get together to remodel the place. And long story short, it just didn't happen. Just divine timing wasn't happening. Things weren't falling into place. I moved to Ashland. I moved back to my house. And last November, my house burned down. It was an accident and very traumatic for both myself and my son. And immediately called Aelita. And from looking at our charts, she graciously told me that it was a death and rebirth. And I feel that very strongly now. And it's been a rough year, but she's been with me the whole way. And I appreciate that. And she came up to work with me on the property and working with her team. We finally got the final recommendations yesterday. And honestly, I had goosebumps all over. I mean, it was exactly, well, I'm gonna get emotional now. I'm sorry.
That's good.
Yeah, it was exactly, I'm not sure quite how to put this. It was exactly what I wanted without actually knowing that it was exactly what I wanted.
Wow.
will create future income for me and maximize the energy of the property in a way that I personally could never have imagined. So
maybe for the experience of for those who listen, I will share very briefly, very quickly. I will ran through the presentation that I did, but I would like to, when you did call, like, I just want, like, from before all the assessments, what do you think feng shui at that moment? What do you think feng shui was for? And what do you think feng shui did after when it was done? It's like how your experience of expectation before and after. Was there anything that's significant that stood out? You can think about it while I'm sharing the things, but I would love.
For the fire and after the fire?
Yeah, because sometimes people think, yeah, you know me, I know the feng shui, and I probably need to rearrange things, or moving the furniture. That will be like very, very, but like, what is this sometimes like, okay, I'm ready to get this done, but what really happens internally and externally? I think that's the huge shift within. Do you want to share now or after I share?
Well, I think the first thing that comes to my mind is what I thought I wanted didn't end up being what was right for the property.
That's, yeah, without even kind of anticipating that it's possible, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me share the so this is the beautiful. So when we start the project, I mean, we study the land, obviously, and this is because the macro kind of where it's at and how it's positioned and what's the land and surroundings. It's very important in feng shui, right? So that's what we do, assessing the form school. Inside out. One of the first things which I think was the Ganesh, right? Moving the Ganesh that was facing south, and could have been also a metaphysical indication for some disaster, fire disaster in that area as well. Kind of maybe coincidental, but nothing is coincidental, right, in this world. So when you do the assessment and analysis and you walk the property, we also do we look at all the forms, like how the light, the sun, the weather, winds, cold, darkness, shades, everything, the yin and yang street. We take all that into consideration. Okay. And when we look at the actual floor plan, typically there is the yin side and yang side. That means like more exposed, more intimate, how the kitchen areas and recreational spaces and garage and main entry is more yang qi, where your sleeping area, more a family room connection to the backyard, is the yin qi. And it's interesting that we had different areas to analyze and to identify, what could be best for it. And this was initially, if we would have to rebuild the whole house, we would suggest certain patterns, certain exposure, but main thing was really to expand the southeast area of the property, getting more light, more connection to the sun, to the sunshine. And that was a large area that is kind of not utilized. And I think the most part, when we talked with Margaret yesterday, was it yesterday or a couple of days ago?
It was yesterday.
Yesterday, I cannot believe it was yesterday. So it was about this. We could not implement all the changes, right? That would be ideal if you would live there with a family, right? Because that would be required. So feng shui is practical and flexible. And so we focused on then what's more vital. That was the money-making area, which was the rental, potentially rental space. And I want you to kind of look at it. this is what maybe the markings would be, typically maybe a contractor or just the, putting the in green, putting the space like of the kitchen, having the seating area, having the bed. And this is just a very simple organized studio apartment, like an addition to it. And then you will have a doors to the bathroom. So that would be layout. Let's say, were you happy before we talked about it? You probably would just say, okay, that's fine, go ahead. Right, Margaret? I mean,
Right.
like layout seems like, legit, right? So
Right, right.
kitchen
It seems to
here,
make to me,
makes
and that,
sense, right? The big window,
right,
having a kitchen, you can sit down here, then you have a bed, and then you can, have a transitional area between your main house kitchen and connection to the bathroom. And then you have a privacy if you want to connect or not, you're kind of controlling it, and then, the awkward space for storage. And that this is a garage.
right.
So what happened when we just focus on the space, when we know that was the only space as a practitioners, that this is the most impactful, we again intimately studying the yin and yang for just this area. And because of the connection to the side yard, which is in the west, it's with a large open windows are as opportunities, and also creating the new entry for this, separate for the ADU. That dictates that this becomes a yang chi energy area and like more active. And then the one along the main entry is a yin, more kind of quieter, more not as exposed. Okay. So, and these were just a few floor plans that we were, trying to modify. And one of the first suggestions was to, first of all, eliminate the entrance to the bathroom from the main wall, but make it like a little more hidden, right? So creating this mini hallway and entering from the side. This is one of the arrangements of, if you have a kitchenette and using this wall and having the situation of the seating, and then awkward place used for the bedroom with the closet. There's another one of the layouts. I think this is the kind of a second step. Again, there's the variations of it, but I want to show you the very final one. This is our final suggestion for this rental space. And I think when I presented this to Margaret, I felt it and I lit up. I said, I can move in to this space. I don't need the whole house, because if I'm going to be residing in this, I can make it mine and it's going to be perfect. So the layout what we created was creating the TV wall. Instead of the kitchen, we created the TV wall with the seating around, with a large window connection to the backyard, the side yard in the west. Then we have a kitchenette along this wall, which is a really also very practical, connecting to where the washer dryer is, and also connection to the other kitchen. See the main kitchen and the secondary kitchen, the kitchenette, and the hidden entry to the bathroom. And then you're having a dining table with the window right here. We suggesting to create some kind of light coming from the east, because it's going to be a morning sunlight, which completely makes sense. And then the bedroom, because of that awkward space, which allows us to put the headboard on the most quietest side, not on this inside wall, because that is directly also connected to the garage. And just think about it. If we're opening or closing the garage, that's going to be affecting you or disturbing your sleep. So this was the final layout. And I think this is the super success, because it's not only good practically speaking, but it also is very good feng shui. So now either the person is whoever gua number, best directions, etc., anybody can feel good. That is artistry of the good feng shui. It's not about just like painting the wall red or green and it's really understanding the external environment, understanding the nature of people. Right now, people could come, you come after work, you lounge in your family, like in that area, and you see the sunset, right? Or the west side of the beauty of your private garden. And then when you wake up in the morning, you can sit up the dining table, which is the east, like a morning sun is shining upon, right? So then you also have a nice solid bedroom, maybe with the fireplace and the walk-in closet, because we're taking advantage of these awkward, triangle kind of, angles. So that is the power of I think is of the good feng shui practice, that you're really feeling external environment, you're understanding what is the potential, you also taking into consideration limitations. Sometimes it's a financial limitation, sometimes it's about sometimes it is about architectural limitations. That's all taking into consideration. You could still achieve a good feng shui. So Margaret, I'm just excited for you. I think that I cannot wait to visit the place when it's done and to decorate it, to really make it yours, because that is the, how to say, it's even also looking at the opportunities, right, for pivoting, instead of the even occupying the
Right.
whole house and moving.
That's what I was gonna say, is that it,
Yeah.
well, when I saw the final, I felt it. I felt it physically that was the right one. And because our goal was to maximize abundance,
Yeah.
I could see myself living in that space completely and totally, and tripling the abundance by renting out the bigger space.
I just have
And I
chills.
didn't see that. Me too. And I didn't see that until you showed me the final space. And I couldn't see it, but then you showed it to me and I felt it. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's what we call about the chi. That's a quality of energy when we're in alignment with the land. And I also, if I may to share, it's like, I remember when you moved to that house, because of its original awkward shape, you
Right.
really never settled. You really never really felt it, to kind of, but I think now, even after it's rebuilt as it was, as the outer shell is gonna be, nothing is gonna be changed. We're only adding the front garden, and we are reconfiguring the game room, right?
Right.
House has completely different potential, energetically and also practically, financially as well. So I would say it's a success story of 2022, and I'm very grateful to be part of it. So
I'm so grateful for you. Honestly, couldn't have done this without you. Wouldn't have wanted to. Thank you.
Does anybody have maybe questions or comments? Because that's we coming close to 8 o'clock, and so we have 10 minutes to chit chat, and maybe reflections or questions. So feel free. Yes.
I should turn on the light. I just wanted to say, hearing your story about the Oregon house, just how grateful we all are for your help. Like, you helped me sell my home when it was on the market for a long time. And so just thank you for your gift, and just yay. We have you on our team.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. Wow. And you're moving into your new house, what we've done. You are quite the extraordinary, now the second floor for you with the fireplace, with that back wall. Oh my God, it's so cool. Again, that's the pivot that we did. Like, my gosh, that's as I said, I just love walking through these experiences and seeing it. It's not about a chime or crystal, right? It's actually seeing the big picture and embodying the energy pull that you have, beyond the walls that you are painting or the windows that you are seeing through. So I think that's it.
It's kind of like living art, it's just, so we had such a difficult time that when we bought this house, we brought her down here and she told us exactly where to put all the furniture. I was like, no, she's going to tell me what direction, and did it to a T what she told us to do. I was like, I'm not messing around.
And you're feeling good, right?
We're good. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Yes, Michelle, the other Michelle. Say something. If you can talk, Michelle. How is your surgery? Oh, that's the other Michelle. I don't know, maybe she can't unmute. All right, other Michelle. You can unmute. Yeah.
I was just gonna ask, so what are some kind of ways that we should spend those lucky days? You know, like when you tell us that's a really great extra lucky day, like what kind of activities should we like plan for those days?
So anything that is nurturing, let's say if you have like a health wise, if you planning any kind of a new, let's say you're starting a new routine and you want to initiate something, like something that's significant that you want to stick to it for a little longer. That will be one way of doing it. Then you can use for the banking. You can use for special relationships like meetings or for contract signing. There is a variations in certain days that you maybe it's better for feng shui rather than for just a blessing or honoring something. So you can always connect with me on those days. Like I say, Aelita, I'm making, and by the way, I'm very grateful for all the offerings. This month of September is also my teacher's, Lu Ming's birthday month. And I am planning on his birthday to be at the Hidden Peak Tea House if they're open. Because they have a restricted, they open only Wednesday through Sunday. And I'm looking the 13th of September is on Tuesday. So that week, I will announce on, I will confirm, but I'm gonna be at the tea house and please be my guest. I will be sharing tea, Kung Fu tea, sharing just the stories, talking, connecting, and just kind of celebrating my teacher, celebrating my guru who has been reborn. That's the main thing. He was reborn this year. He's amazing. And all your support to the Bhutanese monks and to the Bhutanese, to the Ming's parents are amazing. I'm so grateful that I have a whole community assisting me in that. Thank you. Yes, Michelle, how was your surgery went?
Oh, it went well.
I'm
It
grateful.
it was pretty difficult the first few weeks, but I'm almost 4 weeks on Friday. So
Okay.
yeah, it's all healing in the right direction. So
Oh, that's great news. Great. Glad to hear that.
I know I'm so happy to be on the other side of it. So, but yes, looking forward to it. And sorry I was late.
That's okay. You have a recording. You can always go to that. So, anyone else? So I think it's 7:55. Any other? So you'll receive the invitation or announcement about the tea ceremony, kind of meeting at the tea house. And so the next Zoom Connect should be the 7th, which is the Friday, the 7th. So somebody's entering on a last minute basis. Hello, Lisa. And if there's no other questions, then I would say take advantage of the rooster. Oh, most important, if it's a rooster, write it out, express it. Don't hold, if you are angry, if you need to say I love you, if you need to say thank you, if there's anything you need to kind of acknowledge in either way or speaking the truth, this is the time. I was listening to one of the one of the leaders, and they said there's three things that is the hardest to do. To say I love you, to say I'm sorry, and to ask for help. So I love you. And I'm sorry if I was not there on time by any means when you needed me the most. And I will call you for your help when I need it. So, Lisa, who joined us late, is there anything you would like to ask or comment?
Oh, sorry, my light is out. I don't know what's happening. I messed up my timing, so I just thought I'd come in and say hi, and
That's
it's been on my
good.
mind a lot. So I'll go back and listen to the replay. Oh, this is so
Yeah.
weird. I don't know why my camera lighting is reversing it. Sorry about
I know,
that.
I know, but it's reversing. You have all those filters.
I didn't set any, so I